Hold on, Taylor. Don't. Okay, go ahead. They don't care about you.
Who can even be a bridge to get us to the other side? But I think when we get to the other side, it'll be the other side of realness.
I think Joe Biden has a chance to be LBJ.
Next LBJ.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Alive, real. I don't believe you can be a Democrat and be a Christian at the same time. I just don't believe it.
That's why you better be independent. You can't be a Republican and a Christian at the same time either. Just ask the evangelicals.
What's up, guys? I love those little talking points on my intro. Can't be a Democrat and be a Christian at the same time as what I said. And then Brenton said, you can't be a Republican either. That's hilarious to me. All right, so what's going on, guys? We got comments popping up, too. Hey, we got people coming in. All right, so this is TFG Tonight. It is Friday, the end of the week, and I'm excited. We got some good stuff to get to. A lot has been going on as I try to get this headset right. Got a lot to get to tonight, and tonight we are streaming live. What's up, Shahana? On YouTube, and also TFG TV on Facebook, but mainly on YouTube on TFG TV. So I'm going to share the link real quick. Bear with me as I share the YouTube link right now. If you are watching, share it. We are live on YouTube. We're going to build it up over there. Talk to our folks we got over there. If you're not following us, if you're not subscribed to us, to our TFG TV channel on YouTube, go do that. Click that little bell, little notification bell, so you won't miss any of the shows. Again, TFG TV on YouTube. So I have some guests, and I'm going to have my producer go ahead and bring my guests on so we can go and get this party started. Y'all ready to rock and roll? Let me get a swig of my canteen. What's up, man?
Hey.
What's going on, brothers?
What's up?
What
We got some things to chat about tonight. What up? What up? What up? And I forgot to give my questions to my producer, but as I say the topics, let's just go and put them on the screen. I'm a little off tonight. I've been busy. How you doing?
Good, man.
Awesome. And make sure I'm sharing this thing. Everybody share if you can. I want to make sure I'm sharing this. I want to get maximum exposure because we're talking about some deep stuff today. We're going to be talking a little bit about a woman's right to choose. Miss Producer Taylor Falk, keeping it in the family, working our ones and twos. By the way, I got to give her a prop on baby girl. We're going to talk about the crime in Chicago. I mean, my camera is here, but I keep looking at the monitor. What'd you say, Brenton?
I said that's double dipping. That's what they call that.
Double dip. Yeah, keep it in the family. We're going to talk about the crime in Chicago. We're also going to talk about billionaires. How much is too much? I think Bezos is up almost 200 billion now. So we're going to talk about that too. So the first thing we are going to tackle is Chicago. So I saw a tweet from the mayor of Chicago, Miss Mayor Lightfoot. I'm not sure if you guys seen it or not, but she was very adamant about not allowing the federal government, Trump, to allow federal troops to go in, not troops, but federal agents to go in and help with some of the chaos that's going on in Chicago. There was, I think, 15 shootings, 15 people wounded at a funeral. I think on Monday there was like 30-something people shot over the weekend in Chicago. And this is like every week we're hearing about chaos going on in Chicago. Have you guys been hearing about this stuff, or is it just me?
Yeah, I've definitely heard about it.
Yeah,
I've heard about it. I don't think Chicago is the issue though.
You don't. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I'm glad you said that. So we're gonna get to that. All right. So we might go. We're gonna be on different sides of the coin on this. I'm just saying it out the bat. But So she did not want federal agents in there. Now, but she switched. She changed her tune, and now she's like, okay, go ahead and bring them in to help out with what's going on. I want to hear what do you feel like it is? Because I'll say what I feel in a minute. What do you feel like it is, bro?
Well, first of all, again, like statistically speaking, Chicago does not even have the highest crime rate in the United States per capita. And it's interesting that when we talk about crime in America, everybody wants to mention, oh, Chicago. Like, what's happening in Chicago? Like, oh, Chicago. It's like nobody mentions like Detroit or St. Louis. Like these are actual places that have way higher crime rates than Chicago. I think it's easy to point at Chicago because I mean, yeah, it's obvious. I mean, there is obvious crime that happens in Chicago. But again, per capita, statistically speaking, when it comes to all crime as a nation, Chicago's number 12 on the list. And so that's why I say, right, that's why I say, and this is based on FBI database. So it's interesting, especially when, you know, I talk to a lot of my friends, you know, that are on the other side of the coin. It's like, oh, but what about Chicago? And black on black crime in Chicago. It's like, well, that's not even a thing, or is it? You know?
I think it is. What do you guys think down at the bottom? Rick and Brent, one of y'all chime in on this. I'm gonna wait to the end before I say mine. What I think about this whole Chicago mess.
Oh, it's a mess, though. Yeah, it is a mess.
Yeah, I agree with my brother. You know, there is an issue that you know it's crime. You know, not necessarily we get on the topic of black on black crime, which I personally don't believe don't really exist at all. I mean, I think it's just crime, right? We don't talk about white on white crime or Hispanic on Hispanic crime or Asian on Asian crime, but we love to talk about black on black crime. I think it's mainly a distraction because isn't it funny how when we start protesting and actually really getting to try to get some change, we get this distraction with black on black crime. You know, this is how it's kind of been for a long time. It's really a formula. You know, you get this social change going, and then you get the black on black crime. You know, like you guys really want Black Lives Matter, but you're killing each other out there in the street.
You kill each other, right? That's always.
Yeah, you know, and that's kind of how the routine goes. You know, always. It really, when you think about it, only 1% of black crime is violent. Black on black crime per se, or violent crimes. So when you think about it, truly the statistics, you know, there's not as much black on black crime as we think there is. 92% of black people kill black people. 87% of white people kill white people. And so crime is proportionally to race and, you know, proximity, neighborhood. So yeah, you're going to keep black people killing black people because
there's a bunch of us over there.
There's a bunch of us over there.
Like we're
like when you kill black people, kill white people. So you know that's kind of how I feel. There's no super crime that we have somehow been able to rise above and start this super murder. And now it's called it's a group on its own, black on black crime. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a distraction. It's what it is. Not saying it's not an issue or a problem. There definitely is a problem. No problem needs to be addressed. And we have you know, certain, you know, avenues to try to break through, to try to fix this issue. You know, there are certain things that, you know, has been created to try to help with this crime. But, you know, there's no such thing really just black on black.
Such as?
It's just crime. It's just crime. You know? There's all kinds of initiatives, you know? At one point, LA was as highest. And, you know, a lot of initiatives over there help bring that crime rate down. It's a lot. You know?
All right, Brent, what you got on there? Then I'm going to chime in.
Man, I was just trying to figure out if he was going to get through with that.
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
He broke up.
God blocked it.
He broke up. That's what he get. Yeah, that's what he get. Yeah, that's what he get. Broke up. You might want to go ahead and go, Lamar, until he gets to his
all right.
You might
there
want
we
to
go. I think we get it. Oh man.
Yeah.
Hey, this is like
we gotta get to Lamar.
All right. So this is my thing. Y'all say there's no such thing as black on black crime. How is it not? Is black people killing black people? And the reason I feel like the reason I talk about black on black crime is because I'm black. I don't have anything to say about white on white crime. I'm black and I'm concerned about our neighborhood.
Right.
So of course I'm talking about the crime that's happening. We have all these marches and initiatives and things about preserving black life, right? Yet we don't really tackle head on, in my opinion, the problems within our own community. Like Chicago, while you guys are saying it's not in the top 10 or not in the top 15, it seemed like it. To know that 15 people got shot at a funeral on Monday and 30 plus people got shot over the weekend, there's a hell of a lot of people getting shot in one neighborhood full of black folk. Yet we care about black life, but yet what is the mayor, Lightfoot, or anybody else doing to preserve these lives? Because if it's somebody in your family, it's a huge loss. But we've been so far removed from it because it's way up in Chicago. It's just like, oh, another 30 people got shot, another 10 people got killed. But what are they actually doing? I think that if I was Trump, while I'm not a fan of Trump, I would have sent agents in a long time ago to clear the streets of Chicago, because I think it's absolutely ridiculous that the mayor and the governor of Chicago, anywhere else, just allow it to go on like it is what it is. I think it's horrible.
I mean, it is. And to be honest with you, like the situation is horrible. Yeah, at the same time too, like I'm with you, and I see where you're coming from. I see it's just kind of like from a black person's perspective. But I just find it ironic that black on black crime becomes a thing, especially during times like this. Like black on black crime becomes an arguing point when it's convenient, as opposed to an ongoing, thing that we're doing, proactively. And I don't live in Chicago, but I know of a few churches. Pastor Hannah up there, he has a few campuses. They're doing some amazing stuff. Those are things, and of course, I don't want to always point at the media. But again, the media is the driving force for a lot of this. They're not showing these churches and community outreaches. I mean, the Nation of Islam's like headquarters is in Chicago. I mean, and we know historically like what they have done, for the community. So I think it's a combination of like media pushing, but at the same time, like we still gotta care about what's happening in our community too. And
I would second that. And what they don't tell you is, talk about the media, is that 39%, find this statistic, 39% of black, quote unquote, black on black crime is covered more than white on white or any other crime. Right. 39%. And we make up 13% of the population.
And we're still the minority, right?
Absolutely. Right. And so it is this the way we are portrayed in the media and by the people and by people who are in controlling of the government and stuff like that, this whole thing, and I know people know this by now, was started in the Nixon era of black on black crime. And it was
well, what color is it then?
I think we got some good service now.
I mean, if you give me their names, I'll call them whatever. William versus Johnson.
It's crime. It's crime. And this is the thing.
I don't understand what makes it invalid that we say black on black.
Because that's what white supremacists, that's what people that's what people use to try to use as a distraction. So when you go and say, listen, we are tired of being killed by people who are job is to protect us and being thrown in jail when we don't have no right to be thrown in jail, and we are killed by these people, then they say, well, yeah, that's true, but you also got black on black crime too, which is just crime. Because like Lamar pointed out about the funeral home, a white boy, white males, as we know, are more likely to go and shoot up an entire mass shooting in whether it's a church, whether it's a mall, whether it's a movie theater, whether it's a school. This happens all the time. And the only suggestion from them is
that's what we want to prevent, dude. If it happens all the time, I don't care. Listen, I don't.
But what I'm saying is
they're not
crime.
Okay, I don't even. That doesn't make it inappropriate just because they say black on black crime. It's not, because that's what it is. So it doesn't make it bad. It's bad because it's being done. And I don't understand why y'all listen. This is what I want to ask the question. Fine. If the white man that put his knee on George Floyd's neck was black, would it matter more to y'all knowing that it was a black police officer or a white police officer?
Well, the narrative would be different at that point because then it goes to black on black crime. Like,
That's
oh,
fine,
they killed
but
each
that's
other
what I'm
in
saying.
law
But
enforcement
what
name.
makes one more than the other? Why does it make it?
Because you
Why
got a
can't-
government entity that is supposed to protect and serve, that are killing you. That's
But
the
if he
issue.
black, if he a black cop, it's still the same government.
That's right. It's still the same thing. It's
So
still the
that's what
same
I'm
thing.
saying. So
It's
what
not.
makes that? Why do we get more alarmed when it's white? I don't understand.
Well, I don't think the issue is like the alarming of when it's white. I think there are two issues here. I think the
Okay.
first issue of is okay, like Lamar said, like there is if a black person kills a black person, we call that like literally black on black crime. Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yet
Right.
when we're talking when it comes to the narrative of the nation as a culture, we don't there's no such thing as white on white crime.
That's right.
Why
Like
not?
what
We can
where's
say
what
it.
well,
No,
but that's
who
what I'm
says
saying.
it?
Like you can say it, but when it comes to culturally appropriate or politically correct, like there's no such thing as white on white crime. Those are just the other
What?
statistics.
I'm
You know what I'm
lost,
saying?
y'all.
And
Y'all help.
so,
No. Help me understand something.
okay,
What is politically correct and incorrect about a labeling? I understand that
Black
it
people are
gets
the
the
people that got that
attention.
label.
Hold on, let me finish. No, we can put it on there. I'll say white on white crime as many times y'all want me to.
That's not a
We
label.
can just start it.
You,
right,
you
right,
saying it
right, and you
don't mean
can,
nothing.
like you
That's what.
can,
Hold on.
but when CNN is running a report
That's
tomorrow
right.
night, they're not gonna call it white on white crime.
That's
When
right.
when Donald Trump, is the president of the United States,
Well,
addressing the issue, he's not gonna call
well,
it crime.
we would jump all over white people if they said black on black
Exactly.
crime. They can barely say black or African
They
American.
do.
Or nigga
Yeah,
or
they do.
whatever, right?
They do say black on black crime.
Black white
That's
people on
right.
news.
I don't know.
There has been many of instances where you've seen people are in government officials saying we got to do something about black on black crime in the sense of this is this whole issue on itself, just black people killing black people. When we
I
only
agree.
But
when it's not.
And it's real.
80% of white people kill white people.
and that's the thing. But the thing is, who cares though? Like I consider, like I said, like I said last time, we're special. There's a special thing about black people and injustices towards black people because that's the case. Because we're minorities, because we're brought over here on ships, because of the whole situation and social situation that we're in, we're different. We're special. I feel like we should give a damn about our people as it relates to
Right.
killing each other. If the rest of the world are trying to kill us, if the white man and supremacists are trying to kill us, the government is against us, there's all this stuff against us, why are we not at least trying to preserve black life?
Us, right?
Right.
Well, that's because
Right.
society don't work like that. Crime is crime. People are going to commit crime no matter what race, no matter where you at in the world. There's going to be crime, and
What
so
about
So what
accountability?
offense? So let me ask you a question. What and I'll ask it one more time. Hopefully I'm not asking the same question over and over again, but I feel like y'all not answering the question.
okay.
What does it matter if two black people kill each other if they took the word black off of it, but the crime still happened and they still report it? What's wrong? What's the difference?
Nobody's saying that there's an issue with just the terminology on black crime. We're saying we both said that there is an issue in Chicago that needs to be addressed.
Okay.
There is. So we're not saying that there's that these killings are not, you know, for better luck, for better reason to say, oh, we don't feel about these killings. We do. My heart go out to the people that lost their family members at the
Do we
funeral.
protest about it?
Well, what are we protesting? We're protesting about gun violence. What are
We
you protesting?
protest that Putin stop terrorizing people
That's
in the
right. Black
community.
people stop killing black
No,
people.
but
But who is
I
the
have
killer?
seen protests in Chicago, like where there are groups. Again, there are groups in
Okay.
Chicago. Again, that doesn't get coverage though. I mean, the good things
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
that's
happening
right.
in Chicago, it doesn't get coverage. Like there's so many churches, there's so many other organizations that are doing things to help with this pandemic in Chicago called crime. But
Such as,
I mean,
what
so
can you do? Like, what's some things that people are doing or can do to combat Putin shooting everybody and terrorizing and bullying everybody in the neighborhood?
So one initiative that I saw is So they create like a safe space. So a lot of the crime, or some of the crime, is committed by, I think it was between the ages of 13 to like 18 or something like that, or 21 or something like that. And so basically, they're creating safe spaces and activities for these kids to do, to keep
Create
them in school,
YMCA's,
right? To
put them
keep
in
them in,
athletics.
right? To give them jobs,
Yeah.
teach them certain things. Like there are churches that are actually doing this, that are creating those spaces to kind of help infiltrate those areas. Like I've seen that before.
I don't know if that works. They've been creating YMCA's and rec centers to keep kids off the street, supposedly, but the ones that want to be on the street ain't trying to go and be in no rec center and no YMCA.
Right, right.
Well,
They want to be.
to me, there's a lot of issues that we can be addressed about this, and one is education. And so when you have uneducated people, that creates poverty, and poverty creates crime. And so that's a thing that don't get addressed is funding for schools in these neighborhoods. There are all kinds of things that I believe that systemic racism plays a big part into.
We always got to blame it on racism. We can't ever take accountability. Perhaps it's that. Perhaps it's a lack of fathers staying in the house and fathering their sons and rearing them up.
But there are not just that as an issue. There are multiple reasons on why this is happening. And so when you look at it with just saying, oh, let's just look at why black people are doing this, you got to look at the whole picture. And the whole picture is school to prison pipeline is a real thing. That's a real issue. We know that. And so when you got these things that's going on in schools, in the communities, that it affects crime, it really does. And so you can't just look at it. You got to look at the whole picture. And
I'm gonna tell you something. You can bring. I remember when they started doing new developments in the hood, right? And they would bring in whatever those house what they call them groups that come in and build new houses for Habitat for Humanity, right? They would bring them in and they would build up these new neighborhoods, right? And all of a sudden that was going to help black people start owning houses. But you know what happened to those houses 10 years later? They look like the other houses on the street, right? And it is not because they didn't try, it's because the people that's in the house still had a problem, right? So it don't matter what even if you built 4 new schools, you're still putting knucklehead kids in there. It's not going to matter. They're going to tear up the water. They're going to tear up the water fountain. Honestly, but you keep, but my problem with that is that, right? The problem is with that, Ricky. You keep looking to this system where we can start at home, man. Stay with your family.
But nobody's saying that. There are.
Well, you are because you're talking away. You're talking about this big system.
There are outreaches, like you said, that are trying to combat these issues. You know, Barack Obama started one. What was it called? My brother's keeper. You know what I mean? To try to combat these issues in the
I want the daddy who slept with the mama to have some sense about themselves and sit at their house and raise their kids instead of feeling like they being tied down because of decisions they making. That's my problem.
The system,
people
the
need
white
to take
man.
ownership.
Shantae said, let me ask a question. Has anyone on the panel participated in trying to help combat the issue? Yeah, I think it starts at home. I'm here with my kids, making sure my son ain't on the street killing other black folks.
I mean, I say that on my show, like shameless plug to be the people, but that's something that I say all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like it starts with like our household. It starts with the family.
I agree.
The family changes the neighborhood. The neighborhood changes, the community. Right. The community changes the city changes the state changes the nation. You know what I'm saying? Like it starts at home, and we can get into, poor parenting because that's real. The reason,
right.
As a former educator, like parents send their kids to school with the intent of the teacher raising the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like it's these.
Hey man, it's been done before, right? We've seen the communities where the black people that were being oppressed, their community, they would still take care of each other, right? Miss Wilson will see that Miss Johnson finna go to work. Hey boys, y'all come on over here and eat dinner, and then y'all go home and go to bed. It was that way once before, but we've lost that along the way through whatever type of situations. All I'm saying. Well, well, that may be a place. Well, all I'm saying is we can get back to that and not worry about what the system was, because the system was more oppressive back then than it is now.
Are we helping? Are we helping them exterminate us?
Ooh, good
question. Heck yeah! Get to the next topic.
Good question.
Next topic, Taylor, play the video real quick. We got a little short clip. Then we're gonna get into this next topic.
Beautiful bean footage.
Get your Excel sheet. Get your Excel sheet out.
Oh, that beautiful bean footage.
You got your data ready?
It's coming. It's coming. Come on, Tay.
I'm gonna tell a joke right quick while I wait.
I do
There we go.
Well,
I'm sorry. I'm also not a Democrat because of abortion. This is my thing. Roe v. Wade was passed off of a lie. As of right now, where we are, we're always crying about being an oppressed minority, but we are always going to be an oppressed minority if we continue to abort our offspring. Abortion is the biggest genocide against Black America. They strategically place their abortion clinics in our neighborhoods, and just about every time you hear a Democratic candidate go on stage, the first thing they say is Black women need access to abortion. So if we really want to restore the value to our own lives, if we really want to say,
a woman's right for abortion.
I just
like,
wanna-
if a girl, like let's say a 16-year-old girl was raped, or somebody was raped and they're pregnant, and they don't want to have that child, they don't want to have that experience. You don't feel like it's a woman's right to have an abortion?
so they talk about women's rights and women's choice. We need to first figure out why the government gave us a choice to kill our children and get away with it. Because as a man, you make the child. If you wanted to kill the baby, you would go to jail. You don't have a right to decide whether or not your child lives. Neither should a woman.
Whoa.
Who wants to start? I ain't starting on that.
I nominate Brenton. Like he got something he needs to say.
I don't mind starting.
Yeah.
I don't mind starting. As a woman by the name of Margaret Sanger, she started this, right? This is the founder of Planned Parenthood.
Yes, sir.
And one of her ideologies was that she wanted to stop Black people from
I saw a story
procreating.
on that too.
Right? Yeah. So my thing is, we're gonna pick our poison? We're gonna do the Black on Black crime, or we're gonna do Planned Parenthood? Which one? Now I want to know what system this is, right? Where we accept the white man pulling it out of our stomach, but we won't accept the knee on the neck. So I don't know. And again, I'm ready for y'all. All laws, we can talk about everybody that has been done wrong in some type of crime where there has been assault sexually, and should that person have the right? My question would be to you all is that the only person that's going there? And if that is it more than the people that just don't want to have one? Is that going to be the majority of the people? Because that's not listen, that line belongs sometimes, and all of them haven't been sexually assaulted, right? So I don't understand, why are we choosing to be frustrated with a system of police officers when we're acceptive of a doctor that's snatching that boy at baby out? Okay, I hear y'all too. Well, it's a zygote. Well, not 3 months later. How far they let you go now? 6 months? What the first
bro.
8
Yeah.
months? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, right? They gonna let you pull it out of there with a knife on it, right? So I'm just saying, y'all, at the end of the day, we can't keep burning the candle from both ends of the stick, right? That we can't be mad at them for doing it to us after we got here when we doing it to us before they get here, right? I don't understand. I don't have no problem with women's rights, but what about the baby's right? Right? We all 4 of us, our parents did not say they didn't want us.
That's right.
Everybody that's under the sound of my voice, parent did not say they didn't want us.
How you
And
know?
aren't we all grateful that they did not have that mindset or that opportunity? Right? We can increase our population. You know how? Stop having abortions. Maybe. Just maybe.
It's tight. Anybody want to go with that?
Well, I would say white women are twice as more likely to get an abortion than black women.
Goodness.
That's
I tell you what, we're gonna get you on the
that's enough.
view.
That's enough.
We're gonna
You
get you
wanna
on
say
Kelly
this black
Clarkson
women-
show or something.
But you don't like what I'm saying. It's
I'm just
reality.
saying, talk about
It's
us.
a fact. I'm telling you, because you just saying that it's black women. You asked the question.
I didn't say just.
White women get more abortions, twice as likely to get abortions than black people. Now I will say this, and I will say with Chris, I'm going to agree with Chris. Chris, it is very interesting that you got 4 men in general, talking about this subject about women's rights. right?
I will put
It,
on.
it
Okay,
looks more
let me
like
finish.
Congress, right?
As a disclaimer, I never had one casualty. I've been living this life for 40 years,
How many
and I've
kids you
never
got?
had one casualty, not
What that
one.
mean?
So it means I've never submitted a woman to do that, and all 4 of mine are here. Everyone that everyone I put in came out.
So,
So I will speak on mine.
all right. Well,
Well,
I would say that you're right about Planned Parenthood in the beginning. You know, being
no
put
pros.
being put in a place to try to eliminate. You know, that's what the CEO of the or the the person who started Black Planned Parenthood. This has been widely documented. Uh, Now, what one thing used to be and what one thing is today is something different. Now, I would say that abortion has been abortion rights or women's rights has been uh, touted by women, mostly by women, and so women saying, I have this right to make this decision on what I want to do with my body," and so I'm not one to tell a woman what to do, what they cannot do with their body. And so I would never be able to, I would not do that. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's a decision that it's the woman's and the woman's alone. I really do believe that.
Interesting. She didn't make it by herself.
Right. But it's her body. Women die in childbirth. Black women die in childbirth at a higher rate than white women. And so when you look at stuff like that, that stuff is important as well. There are women right now who, if they get pregnant right now today, they have a higher chance of dying because of the
You know what's
pregnancy.
so funny? You know what's so funny? You give these points as though this is the leading cause for this problem. The point is sexual assault. Well, you got
I didn't
what
say
has
anything
happened to
about
that
sexual
person?
assault.
Well, what I'm saying is the point you point even with the point you giving about how many deaths, dude. You know how small that number is compared to how many live. You got a woman who had 14 kids and then died. I mean, so we can pull
What I'm
scenarios out
saying
there
is,
all you
no,
want
what I'm
to.
saying is you're talking about a medical decision by for a woman. And a woman saying that's my right to have my own decision of what I want to do medically for me. And so if I don't want to go through having a baby, I should have the right to say I don't want to do that.
That's fair. I don't got no problem with that, but I got a problem when we fuss about our population as a whole, and we say they're killing us. No, we're killing us.
That's
We are, right?
that's a matter of
Woo.
what you believe. And that's something
Well, no, no,
totally
no,
different.
no, no. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, listen. We can
Hold
spit
on there,
facts, Doc.
Captain.
We can spit facts, Doc. The fact of the matter is, if she can choose to say I don't want it, that's a fact. And guess who did it? Black on black, black on black.
So
Right?
I
That because that's a black baby in there, and that's the black mama. So that's again that term again, black on black. Right?
so
So yeah, so I don't understand why we get mad when they doing it, but we doing
are
it
you
too.
serious?
Matter,
so
You
yes.
talking about a system of a federal entity, which is whether it's FBI, whether it's the police officers, and they are killing people, and
FBI.
it's not their job, right? It's not their job to do, no matter what it
Listen,
is.
I promise you,
So
there are police officers that felt like they had the right to use lethal force, and we
you're trying to equate black on black crime, now abortion, with police killing
no.
on
What
black
I'm talking about is
people.
the hypocrisy of you guys talking about our population is this. We only have this amount of people in the world. Well, how many people have been aborted compared to how many people have been here? I bet you that number would have gone up,
They don't go by
right?
that much.
well,
It's not like many of us.
Lord,
It's gonna be
listen, I'm
85%
just telling
if
you.
you didn't
I'm
abort,
telling you.
period. Come
The
on.
more people we put on here, the better our chances, the better percentage we have. Matter of fact, I wonder how many votes there would have been 20 years ago had they been here.
Mm.
I just
Tam
want to know
says,
how
well,
many more votes.
Tim says, I'm definitely pro-life. I believe God makes no mistakes, but there again, everyone doesn't think like me, and I accept that. But I'm also aware that we are an endangered species. So are we helping
That's
towards
right.
that being endangered, or are we hurting it?
and I and I
And
We're
and
understand.
I'm
hurting
and
it.
I'm I
I
don't.
know. I listen to y'all. Here's where I'm at. I think the bigger, and I'm gonna let y'all have it. I think the bigger issue is how do we value our lives as black people, like as a community? Because again,
That's a good
like you said,
question.
like it is like you. I mean, it is almost the same. It can be seen as the same issue as us black on black crime, because I mean, again, if you're pro-life, that's murder, right? But then it's like, well, it's the choice. Okay, but how much are you invested and how much do you care about the lives of your community and the people in your community? That's the question. Like, that's what we have to ask ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and again, I'm not gonna tell no woman what she chooses to do with her body. I know there's a moral perspective, there's a legal perspective. Yet at the end of the day, when you are making that choice, and by no means a stretch of the imagination, do I think this choice is, I don't think it's easy. For some, it may be easy. For others, it's not. I'm not a woman. I can't speak on that. But I would ask, how valuable do you see the life that is inside you?
Shantae, one is too many, right? And this is what I want to say. I'm going to channel my Al Sharpton here, right? Because he's always about the rhyme and the rhythm. If Black Lives Matter, do they matter at the abortion clinic? If Black Lives Matter, do they matter more for police brutality? Again, I heard you what you said. No, I'm not saying abortion is easy, but we still go do it, right? Does Black Lives, is it not hypocrisy to say Black Lives Matter on one end, but then they don't matter on the other end?
Knowing
I
that when
don't
we lay
I
down,
don't
there's
think
a
it's hypocrisy.
possibility we're gonna have a baby, and then there's a possibility that you didn't want the baby, and so we didn't make the adult decision to either wrap it up and you be on birth control. Like,
Well, okay, there you go,
I
right?
mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, that's what it boils down to. It comes back again to two responsible adults who consensually make a decision.
That's fine. But at the same time, there's none of us can tell a woman what to do with their bodies. And
Well, we
some
trying
of
to
us
tell a
are
police officer
no,
when to shoot his
some of
gun.
are you taking out a question. You need to stop. Just stop. That is ridiculous.
No, I'm not.
I want you to
No,
go
it's
back and
not.
watch what you just said.
No,
So
no, yeah, because guess what?
like,
You got
hold
a
on,
scary
listen,
white man that
listen,
say he's
listen.
scared for his
What
life
you
and he
think
can
is
shoot.
nonsense.
Okay.
Is at all.
Hmm.
You want the police to I want you to listen to stop killing
Hmm.
black unarmed people that don't have a gun, and you trying to equate that to black on black crime and trying to equate that to abortion, which is not the same thing. I am
I'm
not
equating it to Black Lives Matter.
I am not
Show,
pro-life.
tell me,
And to
tell
some
me how
people,
that makes sense to
and to
you.
some people, that is not the same thing. So some people who, like you said, don't look at it the same. I'm one of those people. I am one of those people. So
And I guess I give my point of view real fast. Mine is very small. I
Go,
don't,
go.
I don't, I don't really care. I don't want to make the decision about it. If it was me, I wouldn't have the balls to do it. First of all, but I don't, I don't feel like it's my choice. But I wouldn't personally do it. But I don't feel like it's my decision to be made. But I do
one
see
in three
both
women
sides.
have abortions.
I see Brendan's side of it. We can. I don't see how do we combat us being a endangered species if we're cutting us off at the head initially,
Right. It's either lethal
and we're
injection or electricity.
also killing each other in the streets. So
One in three women in a lifetime, 1 in 3 women would have an abortion. So it's not you just talk about black people. Black people are, when it comes to their other counterpart, are sometimes twice as likely to not have an abortion. And so
Okay.
this whole thing of we killing it off before we start,
There you go.
you're not. I'll put it like this. I'll put it like this. White people are make up what 73% of the population or something like 70% of the population. So I think it's going down.
Pause.
And so
You see you see this right here? You see this right here?
I have
I
kids.
I I appreciate my wife.
I have
No,
kids.
no, 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 no. Listen, I appreciate my wife. You know why? Because if she had a choice and she said no, this wouldn't be standing here.
You will know
You
them.
understand what I'm saying?
You
No,
will
no,
know
no.
them
This is
kids.
what I'm gonna tell you. But this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what I'm saying. Am I saying
We're not
that
in
I got a
danger. I don't.
problem?
That's a
Hold
I
on.
think we're in
This is what
there.
I'm saying.
we're in
I
danger.
see this. What
We're
I'm
not in
saying.
danger.
You
I
crazy.
agree with Chris.
You just now you fussing over the people killing us. So
Right.
how you gonna say that? Wait, hold on. So this is what I'm saying. At this moment,
We make up
this is
13%. We've been making up
I'm
13%
finna,
of the
man.
population.
We could have been at 18%. Could have,
How do you know? You
right?
know that how? You know that how?
Because if you add up the people that's gone, if they were here, those numbers will go up. That's just basic
all the
math,
dead homies,
right? So listen, here we go. Shantae, I'm gonna say this
35
to
in
Shantae.
Chicago just this weekend.
Right. So right. So and we would have had 17 makeup for okay, hold on. Listen, Shantae, let me say this to you because I don't want y'all to misunderstand. If we were talking about case by case basis, if you have to abort a child because the woman is going to die, do I have a problem with that?
Or the
No.
child
Does
gonna
that then make me not pro-life? I don't believe so. But
die.
if you want me
It
to
sounds
step
like
to the side, okay, that's fine. Fine. I'll grade the line. If you want me to step over to the side and say, would I want the woman to die over the child? No. Fine.
No,
That
I don't know
if
about
that's
that.
if that's what it's for. And again, and if do I say I want a woman that has to live her life with the simple fact of sexual assault to have that child or whatever, or if they found out that that child was not going to have a high quality of life, no, I don't have a problem with that either, right? Is that me talking out two sides of my mouth? No. What I'm saying to you all is I'm talking about the young lady and the young man who this is her fourth conception, because she out there hitting
She
them
out
up at the
here
club,
Hold
getting
getting that
sweet.
fit, getting at the club, right? And letting them all have it. And then why? Because she got to get ready for the next moment. I'm opposed to that. I don't got, and I promise
that's
you.
not every
It's
situation.
irresponsible.
You're using
But
that as
it's more. No. But you're
that's not
using
the
it.
truth.
But I listen.
There
I
are
put
husband
money
and
on the
wives
paper.
to make these decisions as well. To say,
I
you know
put
what,
money on the paper
I'm
that
not going to. We need to. We got 3 kids already. You lost your job. We can't afford to have another kid right now. We're gonna be in a poorhouse.
you can have
That's
adoptions. You
that's
can
the
do
decision that are
adopt.
made.
Those are options. But what I'm saying is,
That's for you to make that option, not for
if
them.
we well,
A pack
it's
of
fine.
rubbers
I'm
is
just telling you,
$3.
if we set a
Yeah,
level
that's it.
standard of just like we make policies for everything else, and if we set levels of standard for, well, what are you doing this for? Why? Okay, well then here's another option. Why can't we create options
You create
if people don't?
because you are then again telling a woman what they can and cannot
I didn't
do.
tell
If
nobody
you
nothing.
have
I said create
that's
options.
the option.
I
What you
ain't telling
saying
her
is
nothing.
if
Mm.
you this your third child and you get pregnant again, that's on you. You can't have an abortion because you don't meet
Don't
Why?
they?
the criteria.
I
That's
said
what
give
you said.
options. I said you
You don't,
can't have that.
what's the other options?
I just said it.
I mean,
Adoption.
What if they don't want to
I mean,
they don't want to get pregnant and
Well,
have a baby?
again, if she don't want to get pregnant,
What if you don't
we
want to have
already
a baby?
passed that point.
I mean, what if you don't want to have a baby?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Then why fuss about how low our population is? Because I'm gonna tell you this. Let me give you some news flash. Breaking
Nobody's talking
news.
about
White
we
people can't help us with that one. White people can't help us with that one, right? They can't help us They can't help us multiply the black population. They can't do that. But you know who can? We can.
Who's fussing about we 13% of the population?
Don't you think if we had 25%? Because I'm gonna tell you something about these Hispanics. If we keep doing it and they keep doing the way they're
They
doing,
coming
we're
in
gonna be
from places. What are you talking about?
okay. I'm just telling you, we're gonna look even worse, right? And we're gonna
Call
partially
immigration.
be able to blame ourselves.
Call immigration. Yeah. You know what you can how you can fix that? Let more black people come over here from Africa. Let more
It's
black
not
people
a
come over from other countries. Then guess what? You can probably say, oh, we can get 25%. That's how you do
but
that.
those, but that's not the same. People coming from Africa ain't regular black. They African.
We was regular African when we came
They
over.
not regular black.
no, I
Wait,
don't know.
We were
I don't know
regular
where you
African
got.
when we
they
first
I
are
don't
came
know.
the
here.
black.
I don't know where you got that from. I ain't got an African bone in my body.
They say us is not regular black.
Okay,
We
you
were all
said I tell you said
African.
why would you put a woman through bonding with a baby that is growing in them and then make her give the baby? See, y'all keep using the word make and control. Nothing about making. It's about see. The problem is they made the decision in the first place, right? To for whatever reason they did not use the proper contraceptives. Whatever. I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm not making anybody do anything. What I'm saying is if black lives matter, then why don't we do our part to help that
So
statement make more sense?
I have a situation that I know personally. I know a woman who have got pregnant twice now, and was on 2 different forms of birth control each time. So she was on one birth control, she got pregnant, and she was the fourth time she'd gotten pregnant now. The last time she decided that because she is poor, she is below the poverty line, that she cannot do this anymore, and she decided to have an abortion. And so
What kind of birth control was she on?
she had an IUD,
If she was
and she got
poor, how
pregnant.
she have an abortion?
because somebody paid for it. What they got to do?
Well, then why? Oh no, I can't use. I won't use none of that willingly. So
What
that
you talking
person
about?
couldn't help. Wait. So the person that gave him the money to have the abortion couldn't come up with another option of, hey, how about I pay for you to have the baby and we do something? I mean, oh no,
Pay for you to
don't
what?
think about
Pay
that.
for you to try to get the baby to take care of a baby for the next 18 to 20 years? They gonna be there to do that?
Listen. We all
$500.
Now,
we all got problems,
big
bro.
question right here: is a baby a life?
I'll let Ricky go
It depends
first.
on what stage you're talking about.
What stage you
At
talking
what
about?
point do you feel like a baby is a life?
When they can live outside the womb and have a viable life.
Dang.
I feel like a baby is
Oh,
considered a
that's
life
9 months.
No,
as
that's not
soon.
true. That's
I
not
mean,
true at all.
I'm just-
I mean, let's look
My
at
son
the.
came out in 25 weeks.
I mean, but let's look at the anatomy of what makes a baby a baby. Like when sperm hits the egg, like that, it's living.
No,
Like
it can't. If somebody was to bring that out, it won't be nothing. It won't even be able to survive. And
they
so
they
that's
do
what they talk.
they
You're
take
talking about
eggs and sperm and embryos and making chickens and goats and
yeah. Life is being able to what live outside. That's life, right?
No,
So
life is a heartbeat inside your
something
stomach.
something that has a heartbeat don't make that they can live outside of the womb, right?
okay.
Who's saying that?
I'm saying
Shantae
that
says,
you asked me a question. Well, when is it when is it not a life?
Oh, so the heartbeat. So if your heart stop beating and they put you on life support, you dead. We should even try to put you on life support, right? Because your
No.
heart not beating.
If you have me on a machine
Hmm.
and that machine is breathing for me, they tell you what?
You
He's not there.
two,
You are doing it for him. And
one
so
woman says a heartbeat, another woman says a heartbeat. Shantae says that she got pregnant while on birth control and still got pregnant and he used the condom. That means the Lord wants you to have a baby.
yeah, that's God's life.
That God will. And somebody said if it's God's will, it's God's deal. Cedric says the Black Lives really matter. Why are y'all judging and
okay?
crucifying black people for making the best decision for them? Because
I would like.
we're here to judge.
I like to respond to Cedric.
Go ahead,
This
Brandon.
is my thing, Cedric. Nobody's judging them. I'm asking questions, right? Because don't we want to fix a problem? Don't we want to be the solution and not the problem? So nobody's and again, you're making an assumption that everybody is making the best decision. No, some people are making selfish decisions, right? So everybody, listen, you can't. I'm not arguing with anybody that says life and death detrimental situations. I'm not arguing that situation. I'm talking about a person who just don't got time to have a baby, but they still doing what
I would
doing
agree to
the
you. I would
things.
agree with you, Bridget, that the decision is selfish if they decide to do it just because they don't want to inconvenience their life.
That's right.
But
She's in
but
her
but
third year of
that's right.
college.
But that's right. But that's right. Anytime you do something for you or do something wasn't the best for you, it's selfish.
Right.
That's
And
what it is.
I'm saying
So
to you, just the way we have a problem with people that fuss about this system and don't vote, I carry that same thought process in my mind for somebody that says we need to stop these people from killing us when you backdooring us at Parent Planhood.
that's fine. I don't carry
Okay,
that same position. And so you
that's
can't
fine.
for you to say that we should, I disagree with you. I don't think that's
Should
the same
what?
thing. That we should
Should
carry
what?
that it's the same. Black people getting killed by
I have a
police officers
question.
is the same as abortion
It's
clinics.
both death. We're dying.
So it's I
What's up?
disagree with that it's the same.
Okay. Okay.
So my question is this though. So let's just say though, from a community perspective, we know the intention as to why Planned Parenthood was created, right? We know Planned Parenthood was created for the sole purpose of the extermination of African American people.
That's not no not Parenthood and that's not why the soul of Parenthood was created.
That's what
That was
the
one
founder of Planned Parenthood
oh,
premise
What's
of
going on?
I don't know
It's
what
my show now, baby.
they got
Everybody
it.
shut up.
we
If
got a new
so let's just say if Planned Parenthood never came along and there was never an outlet for us to abort babies on that level, what do you feel like our situation would be like right now as black people?
me personally, I feel like poverty is poverty. So when you're introducing more people to that, you have more people that's in poverty. And
You
so
really think bad about black people, don't you?
who me?
I mean, dude, he's talking about if
Just let me
black
finish.
people didn't have the opportunity.
Let me finish my statement. You can make
Okay.
it. Okay. So what I'm saying is that I think that when people make these decisions, I don't believe the decisions are easy. And I say that a lot because the young lady that I know,
For some it is. For some, most it ain't, but for some it is. I know people that have had several
yeah, and that's right.
routinely.
It depends on it
Yeah.
depends on the individual. I know I'm not gonna lie, I know multiple women who've had abortions. And so these women have had issues. They really wrestle with should they do it or should they not do it. And so I'm not saying, but all of these reasons was because of poverty. They could not afford to have a child. They could not afford to have another child. They were already one girl was had a baby on the hip, had a 2-year-old, was pregnant, and literally was working at McDonald's. That's what she
In
was.
those situations, should you truly be screwing if you ain't got money to take care of yourself and take care of a
And
baby?
I think it goes back to like making better decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like
You
if
can
you know,
test having faith for sex, but you can't.
That's a big risk you taking.
like if you know if you go play in the ocean and I don't know you cut yourself and you know sharks like blood, like wouldn't you be more
But
smart?
y'all talking about Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood helped these girls with getting contraceptions. So that's what they do. They help them a lot of time with that to prevent any type of abortion. They say, listen, the best thing to do is get this. You go to these women go to Planned Parenthood all the time to get the shot, right? To get something put in. That's what. So I know we can talk about what somebody believed that was ahead of something. That's not what it is for today.
Did you answer his question though? He said, what would we be doing if that wasn't an option?
You would just be having, I believe that you would be having more and more people in poverty.
That is crazy.
Wow, that's where abortions are happening. That's where
Where?
abortions are happening.
I thought you
Abortions,
said more white people were having
no,
abortions.
right? I'm saying abortions in the black community happens vastly, mostly in poor communities.
Okay. I mean, I don't know that to be true, but I don't.
I'm telling you, it's true. Go look it
Listen.
up.
I think we would have a lot more success stories.
Let's do a couple of. Let's get some comments for just a second. Tam says her grandma had 15 kids. Her dad being the last child, some don't consider value of life over sacrifice. Said is on. He's saying basically, judging these people or going off of your opinion is not helping anything or anyone. Candace said there would be more abortions done dangerously and illegally if there was no Planned Parenthood. See, that whole argument of that, while I feel like I'm pro-choice overall, by the way, but that argument, I never buy that argument of more be done illegally. I think a grown person, if they choose to stick a hanger in their tail, then they crazy. If they decide to make a stupid decision to stick a hanger up their tail.
Right. I'm asking.
I think that's wrong for you to make that as something to say somebody's crazy because they.
You know what's so funny to me that I laugh at the fact that y'all think that we the only ones that got opinions on these things. You guys that are speaking on this, I'm talking to Cedric. Cedric said it's our opinion. It's you guys' opinion as well. You guys are not spitting facts as though we're not spitting facts.
No, you haven't spit one fact on this panel at all.
Hold on, fact. One fact. If we didn't have abortions in the black community, we would have a bigger population. FACTS. That's a fact. Period. Now, if that ain't a fact, then we got to look up the definition of what a fact is. That's a fact, Jack.
How many abortions are happening a day? How many people die in a day?
Even if it's 2 people.
You making that statement that people die every day. That's how people have to be having abortions the same amount of time that people are dying in this country or not having abortions. Pregnancy have to be, and that's not how it works. And we know that.
Well, listen, that's a whole different matter. We want to stop black people from killing each other, as well as we want to stop black people from killing each other in Planned Parenthood, right? Planned Parenthood. Oh, that's period. But I mean, that's fine. But guess what? If that's not you, then I don't want you talking about Black Lives Matter, in my opinion.
Well, I'm glad that I don't read and what I can and cannot talk about. I'm so happy.
It's hypocritical.
Because
in my opinion,
when you look at right, but when you look at I'm glad that you look at, but when you look at police brutality and you trying to equate that to black on black crime, that's the issue. That white people, that's the issue that they use with, like we said earlier, to say social change. We got to stop killing each other before we start trying to fix a system of white police officers killing us. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
I would.
We have to do both. I feel like we have to do both. We can't be
that's the truth.
so gung ho
Mhm.
I
on
agree.
police and white folks killing us if we don't give a damn
Me
about
too.
us killing each other.
On YouTube.
No,
And that's yeah,
yeah, go
You
ahead.
know,
and that's
I
what
feel
I'm
like
saying.
This is what I want to say to the whole point of the matter. The fact of the matter is that
I
I
agree
will
with you.
recant my statement. White people are both killing us as police officers, and white people have given us the opportunity to kill ourselves in Planned Parenthood.
Brenton, how
So
many
I
black
guess
people
white
have
people are
abortions?
doing it.
How many black people have how many black women have abortions a
I
year?
don't have the Excel sheet, Doc. You look it up and
I
tell
don't
me.
have it. I'm asking you.
Okay.
You making a statement about a fact of what? How many black women
One
have
is too
abortions?
many. One is too many.
How many black women? If you're gonna
You
make
know
that
I don't
statement,
know that.
that's right. So for you to sit here and say that there would be a higher population if we didn't stop
Man,
having abortions,
what do you
that's
mean? That now wait before you make that statement, ignorantly as that sounds, dude, if one black woman aborted a child, that does not increase our black population. So I don't
if
know
one
why
police
you making
officer
that
kill a
argument.
black person, what? That decreases
So
the
what you
population.
saying? So what you saying?
That decreases the
More
population.
police officers are killing black people
That
than
decreases the
abortions in
population.
the. I got
I
that.
don't. I don't. I
I
don't
want
know
to
about it.
stop both. I want to. Matter of fact, I want to stop black on black crime. I want to stop white people killing black people, and I want to stop people from killing each other at Planned Parenthood. So I want it all. So if you call me greedy all you want to, I'll eat it up. But I don't want none of it.
You're putting your opinion on. You tell it. Then you go and tell women that they shouldn't have that right. That's what
Nobody
you're
saying
saying.
so that. Nobody
Oh,
said go
okay,
tell
then.
nobody saying that
You
right.
want to
I would
tell
listen.
you want
You
to
can
tell
stop.
black women not to get abortion because it decreases the population. Then you're telling the women you're infringing upon their rights. Go tell them that they cannot make abortion illegal. That's where you want to stand on, right? Making abortion illegal, right?
well,
I want to
Hold on,
if
let me
persuade them. I
RB,
want to persuade them.
go ahead.
I would like to persuade them to think a different way. I don't make nobody do nothing, right? If I was making people do something, I'd make people get education, right? I would make people stop doing a lot of things,
do you
but I don't make
believe
nobody
that
do
women should
nothing.
have the right to get abortions?
No, I'm not saying that. I said that I would like women to
You're not
use
going to
better
answer the question.
judgment. I
You're not
just
going to
said
answer the question.
no. I
Well,
said
you said
no.
so. You
I
don't
said
believe.
no.
Okay.
I said no. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I said I'm giving options. I would listen. I would like the fact
These
that
options are always there. There's what
listen.
these options ain't
Okay,
new.
here you go. Here you go. This is what's so funny. You was broke before you laid in the bed. You're gonna be broke when you get up out the bed, and you're gonna be broke when you take the pregnancy test. So I don't know what you want me to fix with that. So that ain't my choice, right? That's not my choice. So I don't understand that y'all making excuses for people who make decisions. All I'm saying is I want to give options. I'm not
What options are you giving
being
that's not already out
misogynist.
there?
Man, okay, this is my fourth time making this statement, right?
Hmm.
Whoever's paying the money for you to get an abortion can pay to go find somebody that want to adopt your child, right? They have foster care. You can take people to the
Benton,
fire
these are already
department, right,
options.
and drop the babies off.
These are already options. You're not creating no new laws. This is already
That's
options
right.
are already there.
But the problem is I got people like you and other people out here that saying, oh no, don't do it. It's cool. No,
I
don't do that.
told you that I don't believe that I should infringe upon a woman's right to do something
So,
medically
so,
wrong.
Okay.
so the men have any
You talking out
say
two sides of your mouth.
the men have a say in a baby that they help make,
You want your tablet?
an unborn baby that they help create,
I would
I
or
hope
feel
do
like
we
so,
that,
just
man.
left out the house on that altogether?
I'll let somebody else
You
talk.
listen, you playing with fire. I know y'all, yeah. I ain't
I
scared.
go
I would
last
hope
man.
My
so,
marriage
man.
strong. I'm just tell you. Yeah, I do.
I would hope so because, and from my perspective, like I'm not out here just trying to have kids, all over the place, But since again, this is something that we created, like you wouldn't have a child unless my sperm, hit your egg, and so therefore, because my sperm fertilized your egg, now we have a baby. Like you couldn't do that on your own, and I respect the fact, and I understand the fact that you have to carry it for 9 months. Like you are equipped to do that.
Then you gotta go to surgery.
Since you know you were a teenager, God gave you a period to teach you and gave you menstrual cycles and pain, and like you are naturally equipped. I think, and this is a side where I'm glad that God did not equip men to have babies, because our egos are way too big, and it'd probably be a whole bad situation. Like we too pathetic, we dumb. Like it just like I'm having two babies next week. Like why, bro? Like
So,
yeah, I'm all
hey,
for it. But like what I'm saying is like I would hope that I would have a say in that child, because I would want that child, even if she didn't. And I feel like this is a whole nother.
And that's a good, and
category.
that's an option. You can have it in if it's a
But we're not talking
situation where
about
a
that
lot of
right
these
now.
are where they're not together and people just out screwing whoever and not even in relationships or married to them or what have you. So in those situations, that makes it a little weirder. Me and Tam talked about this a little earlier, and she said she would definitely, it'd be a conversation. It wouldn't just be a decision she'd make. It would be she would give a damn, especially if we're together, give a damn about what I thought about a baby we made together. So I think it sucks if a woman just blocks a man out, particularly if they're in a relationship with him or having any kind of thought on it whatsoever.
Right.
I wanna sincerely say something to Candace because she said it's none of my business. And the problem is that if I'm the same person, if it's none of my business about abortion, well then why ask me to get involved with crimes that are being committed against black people? That should be none of my business too, right?
That's just your
And
opinion on how you
hold
feel.
on, I'm talking to Candace. Just a second. If you agree, I'll talk to you too. So this is what I'm saying.
I
I
do.
respect the fact that it's none of my
Always.
business, but at the same time, if it's none of my business in that moment, then why should I care about any of it? Why should I care about anything that happened to black people that's not concerning my foe and no more? So I won't take that to heart. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you got to see how that comes across as again, we're talking out two sides of our mouth. You want me to care about what you agree with, but you don't want me to care about stuff that you don't agree with. So I don't understand. Again, this is where we struggle at working together, right? Because I'm if you run the tape, I never said I force anybody to do anything. I said let's offer them better options, and then from there let them. And if
Okay.
listen, okay, what?
I think you're
Okay,
talking out of two sides of your mouth, and I'm gonna tell you
I
why.
know it. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna explain to you why. Because you keep saying that you're giving other options, but then you saying that basically, this is what I hear you saying, that black women who are, as you would say, aborting children is wrong, and it's the same as killing a white police officer killing a black man, right? You're making that same equation, right?
They're both
They're
dead.
both saying. So then you saying that I'm not saying I'm telling women not to have that right.
That's
So
right. I
what?
can't tell you.
Which right?
I want to persuade you,
But I
right? I
said
want to
when I asked
encourage
you
you
earlier,
not to.
then just go out there and fight for it to be illegal. There is a humongous
Well,
body
well,
of people
well,
telling
RBG
us,
stay, if RBG die, or if Trump stay in office, it's gonna be
yeah,
illegal.
there's a group of people that believe it should be illegal. Join that group of people.
Listen, I don't know. Listen, my problem is I don't know how the women back in the 60s and 70s survived off all these kids that they had, man. So, so I don't really understand what concern did we have
But
now
economics
that
is
we didn't
totally
have
different
back.
as well,
Well,
right?
again, those are
And
those are
that's why I asked
decisions.
my question about Planned Parenthood
Economics
not
totally
being
different.
here. Because if you historically look at numbers in the black community of women
Hmm.
having babies prior to our access to abortion and things like that. Somebody mentioned like my great grandma had 17 kids, and this was in like the 1930s, 1940s. But as time has progressed, the family dynamic has gotten smaller. It continues to get smaller, and so now if Planned Parenthood, okay, if we take Planned Parenthood off the table, my question is now, how do we restore the black community?
Wait
Okay.
for they answer that. I want to add this so I can let Ricky answer it all. I have a question. If the government said you can only have two children, and the next time you get pregnant,
Like China.
Like
I'm a
China
That's
kill.
did.
kind of it, yeah.
Wait. They say you can only have two black kids, and if you get pregnant again, every time you get pregnant, we're gonna kill your baby. Do you know how much hollering when I tell you yelling we will be doing?
That's the same. Brenda, it's the same thing. You taking somebody's rights away. So whether you tell somebody they can do something or they can't do
Well,
something,
I'm just saying.
you taking their rights away. So it
Well,
don't
listen,
matter. And so
we
what you're asking me is the exact same thing of what you're trying to say that they shouldn't have the right to do. So yeah, that you're just taking people's rights away. I would say that Planned Parenthood, like I think that was Candace that said
I didn't
they.
say that, Candace.
What they also,
Candace, no, I never said that. Matter of fact, go back and run the tape when me, you, Chris, Kennard were talking. I said I would fight for any woman. I never said that. I know I would do. Matter of fact, if you want to say that, you miss no. I got a mama, a sister. Nobody. My sister can call me today. It does. If I see somebody doing something to a woman, period, like that's just not in my nature. I won't let that
well,
carry on.
yeah, they did lift the
So
ban. It was one child. Now it's two. Now they lifted the ban, but now you can only have two kids. That's it in China.
right.
And so it's. But anyway, I digress. Going back to what the question was about uh, men having a right or having right to say, "Yeah, I want you to have this child." I think there should be a discussion between two responsible adults to say, "Listen, this is
For sure.
what's going to happen here. If we decide to bring this baby in the world, you know, what is it going to be like? Are you going to be willing to help me take care of this child? Because we see a lot of times women are stuck with these kids, and we talk about our grandparents having 16, 17 kids.
They choose to be off.
My grandmother had 9 kids and lived in poverty. She was born into poverty and she died in poverty. And she had 9 kids. And
How
most
did
of
she
all those
make it?
people in poverty. And that's what I'm saying. I said poverty. I'm not saying that you can't make it. You're still in poverty. There are people in poverty and making it, right? Yeah, okay. And
Well,
so
if
what
I
I'm
said it, Candace, I apologize.
I like what
I
Tam
don't know.
said. If she was a man,
She
I
said,
agree with that, Tam. You should be able to sue. How you gonna get to decide about my kids? I know we doing the whole women's lib. I'm sweating from working out women's lib stuff and women rights, which I agree with 100%. But as it relates to property, I think the baby is the property of both people. So I think it should definitely be a conversation. Of course, you get to decide. They allow you to decide on
here's
your
the
own.
property
But
when you're here.
I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a woman that wouldn't want to have a conversation with me about a life that we created together.
And I think that's fair to say, oh, I won't want to be in a relationship with somebody like that. But at the same time, we're talking about a medical condition. Pregnancy is a medical condition. It is
You
it is
know the risk when you lay down and spread your legs and toot
it's a
your
right,
medical
booty up.
condition.
right. It's not
Right.
like it's
And men know
involuntary
that
one.
too when they have all these babies and they know where to be found. It's the same thing. All
I agree
these
100%.
fathers that we have out here, and they know the same thing, right?
I
Right.
agree
The,
100%.
the lady that I spoke about, the daddies are none of those kids' lives, right? And so we like to vilify the mother, the woman, for making a decision to say, I'm gonna be
I don't
selfish
think
for
that's okay.
myself on my own.
Oh, we
Out.
vilified the men earlier for being the problem with the black on black crime of not being in the homes to rear and raise their sons that's out here
It's poor
terrorizing
parenting. It's
communities.
not men. It's poor parenting all together.
Particularly if daddy's not being in the house. We gotta take responsibility for that. Come on.
Yeah, we do. We do. We
It
Well,
ain't
do.
the white
how
man,
do you
it's
get
us. We
And,
how do you get
we
those
and,
run.
kids? How do
then
you
you have
how,
a woman make that decision and say, whether it's medical or I cannot do it. My son was adopted. I'm not ashamed to say that. I adopted my son. Okay. And the mother, his biological mother, was in poverty. Okay. She was going to try to keep the baby, and she realized that she couldn't do it. She was homeless. So she decided to get the baby up. But at the same time, there are women who make the decisions that I don't want to go through the pregnancy at all. I don't want to risk my life or dying on the table or anything. That could have happened. And she lost a lot of blood on the table. She almost died having my son. She almost literally died having my son. I found that out. So you have these situations that could be an issue.
but nobody's arguing for those situations, dude.
You
You
arguing
talking
that
you
the
talking
system
about the
is
you
gone completely. That's what you're trying to
first of
say.
all, I said no. See, that's crazy that I can't even have a con. I literally sat here for 2 minutes and told y'all that if somebody was laying on their deathbed, the child should not, and it was going to be between the mama and the child. The child would have to be
Yeah, but you don't know those situations until they happen.
You don't either. So I'm telling you, I'm not talking about the person that's having a medical issue, but that, again, that is not the majority of people who are having abortions. That's
How
not.
do you know that?
I guarantee you, you go look it up on your spreadsheet.
You,
I
you,
guarantee you, I'm gonna get proven right.
are you speaking facts or you just stating an opinion?
Well, when you go look it up, you can find out if I'm telling the truth or not.
So the answer
I
is
Well, if you go look it up,
the answer is no.
We've been long. All right, last topic. It'll be a little cooler, probably. Billionaires. How much is too much? I read that. What's his name? What's his name? Rick. What's the guy, the richest person in the world?
Jeff
Elon,
Bezos.
oh,
That's
from
Bezos.
America,
Bezos. Bezos' net worth is
like 160 something billion.
178 billion dollars.
It went up.
And I'm big time capitalist when it comes to business and people's money. I don't think people should be worrying about nobody's money or right normally. However, I had a conversation today that kind of made me think a little bit different about it as it relates to that. I still believe in a flat tax. But when somebody broke down how much a billion is, should he be?
Do you want me to say it? Do you have the? Do you
Yeah,
have
go ahead and say it. Ricky, I actually talked to Ricky earlier, and it made me think a little different on it. However, I'm still a capitalist. I still believe in a flat tax. However, I think that at the threshold of a billion, maybe some other things can happen. Go ahead, Rick. I'll let you.
We went to this conversation about is billionaires immoral or should they really even exist? And so we went to that because we said, well, human beings don't really have the capacity to understand humongous numbers. So they broke it down to seconds. So a million seconds is 11 days, right? 1 billion seconds is 39 years. That's how many it is. And so when you break it down like that, billionaires can never, that's why they say billionaires, they can never spend that money in a one lifetime because it's just impossible. And when you have multi-billionaires like Jeff Bezos, who has 200 something $billion, is that right when you have a world that is suffering from homelessness in America, hunger, you have kids, people in poverty line. So is it immoral for people to have this much money and not be required to do more with it?
Now, I don't think
Well,
it's
like what?
immoral. I don't think it's immoral.
Tax them. They got it.
But I
Which
think
they're
that
not working.
right. So they
Can't
can't
tax
get him
somebody
to
that's
like
not working.
he didn't pay taxes. So I think we talk about this all the time. He don't get a paycheck, so he can't
That's
tax
right.
him on
Can't
his
get tax on
income. He pays capital gain. Most of his net worth is what's in his stock for the companies he owns and all that stuff, right?
If you tax them based on their net worth is what I'm saying.
Right on, Tam. Right on. That's my way of thinking. But I will be honest, Ricky made me think like, should that be something at the $1 billion mark to as far as tax goes? But then I started thinking my analytical mind as it relates to Congress. There is no way nobody's going to agree on it for one. But there is no way. How do you determine what the tax will be and on what? What if I don't pull no money? I mean, is it going to be the capital gains tax going up? But then that probably affect everybody. Does it determine how much you're pulling out as it relates to your capital gains tax? There's so many things.
There's ways around it.
I just don't believe there's not a fix to that. I just disagree with that. There's a way.
What you say? Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead, Rick.
I'm saying I just disagree that there's no way to fix it. That you can't come up with a system to try to fix where you got these billionaires. We have more billionaires globally than anybody. America does. And so
is it the same system that got the billionaires that got the poverty people? Is that the same system, right?
Yeah. And this is the issue. This is the issue.
What you saying, Lawrence? Oh, go ahead, Rick. I mean, bring my bad. I didn't talk over y'all.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Will.
Lawrence, what were you saying? You about to drop some knowledge on us?
No, I was just saying like there's always a loophole. You know, like there's always going to be a way in and around. You know, again, this is not a Be the People plug, but we talk about like being a lobbyist.
Go for it.
When you have
TLG TV.
When you have that much money,
mm-hmm.
you can pay to get legislation passed
That's right.
to where you don't have to pay taxes on anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can pay to adjust the system,
How?
you know. And so like when
Influence.
you have that much power, it's like
Yeah.
it's like you okay, you won. It's like the dude who won Monopoly. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
What can I do? I can't do nothing to
right.
come
You
back
got
what you
Parkways,
got.
Boardwalk,
They have control of the system.
right.
I think our problem is that this is the reality of like somebody that's never eaten lobster before, seafood. They don't know what it tastes like, right? So until we have experienced what it means to be that way, we can't say what they is and are not doing uh, for what they, because if you were there, people would have a problem with what you're doing. And all I'm
I don't
saying
want
is,
nobody controlling what I got. Now I
right,
say that.
because that takes away from the right to choose,
But
right? To choose.
we all have responsibility. That doesn't. We all have a responsibility to pay taxes. We have a responsibility to pay taxes on our houses, for our community. We all have that responsibility. So, like Lauren said, there is loopholes. People to think that the people that are in control of the system do not control the
Can
fact
I
that
help
they
you
might
out?
save money.
Can I?
Now, I would make this one statement before you talk. I make this one statement. Jeff Bezos gave over $100 million to feed the children. Right? He makes over $200 million per day. So what they giving, they can help end actually hunger in America. They can. And it's like
Okay.
they're not doing their part. They're not doing their part to do so. That's the issue.
Okay. Let me help you
They're
out.
not doing enough.
Let me tell you who else don't pay taxes. People that don't work that are on welfare. They don't pay any taxes.
Oh my God.
Okay. Now wait. Is that a fact or did I just lie? Lamar, am I lying? Ricky? Anybody want to call me a liar to my
I
face?
don't know if they do.
Do they pay income taxes?
What,
I
let
leave
me ask
that
you
to
a
be the
question.
people.
Okay.
Nah,
So
you
Yeah,
the
I'll
know,
whole
be the
point
people
is,
episode
Yeah,
already.
y'all
I'll let you
wait.
respond to that.
Tuesdays and
Y'all
I'll
Saturdays.
mad.
let you respond to
Y'all
that.
mad that people not paying taxes that's way up there. But the same people that ain't paying taxes is the people that's way down there. Right? Way down. I'm talking about don't even got a
I'll just
job.
respond to this though. Those people,
I'm just trying to help y'all out, man. Why y'all
these people up here can help change the entire system. What are you talking about?
but but you know, I've been thinking about this all day, Rick. While when I talked to you this morning, you did something that nobody normally can do. You made me think about it. So I do think that should be something to the billion mark. However, as I think about it even more, and as my baby talk too, speaking my language, my thing is if Bezos decided, all right, I'm gonna give out this much money, and you start helping people that are homeless and people that, what are these people gonna do with this money that ain't never had no money?
We're not talking
Mm,
about giving them money. We're talking about they can change the system. So you can create more mental health institutions that can actually help people get off the street that has mental health issues. That's why people are on the street to begin with. Most people are on the street because
That's
not
true.
because they just made some bad decision. It's because they have mental health issues. The baseball player who earned millions of dollars, they found him behind an airport. They arrested him. He has mental health issues. He's sleeping outside. These are things that you can try to not just bring attention, but can try to help bring the people of America up. Whether it's mental health, whether it's drug prevention, whether it's homelessness, whether it's hunger, all that can be helped. You just
Let's
like
tackle what
money.
can we tackle what Shantae said? And I really like on this show being real transparent and real honest about us, right? She said it depends on the tax bracket they fall on, but most don't have to be on welfare. I'm assuming she's talking about.
no,
However,
she's talking
they
about
want to
paying
make enough
taxes.
to feed.
No. She's talking about
Oh,
paying taxes.
okay. However, they want to make enough to feed themselves. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
I feel like if I made $6 an hour right now, I could feed myself. I've done it, right? I think you have to determine your standard of living based on what you make. And not only that, you have to also be striving to make more. I could go work at McDonald's and still live fine. I promise you. I promise you, and I guarantee you, if we went and did a forensic analysis of what people spending that are in housing, that are on welfare, you will find out they had big T bazaar, buying, they doing a whole lot of frivolous spending. I guarantee you.
Rent a center.
I guarantee. I know them.
Yeah.
I know them. Come on, let's be honest.
I think it goes back to though, like
Let's
we
be
talked
honest
about,
about it.
like from a community perspective though. Like I feel like we fail for our lack of education. So I mean, they didn't teach me how to manage money in school. They didn't teach me that. Like I learned that from my grandfather and my dad. You know, like they don't teach you how to start a business, and at least not the schools that I went to. And I went to a black school and a white school. It's like they don't teach you this stuff, and so I agree. Making sure that we're educated on how to do these. Now, it's not going to change everybody, but I think it should be available for some, or it should be available for those who want to do better and want to be better. I don't think as a
What
whole,
should be available?
just like the
You
ability
talking
or
about financial?
right, like the information or like the
Oh,
education,
right
like
on.
financial education. You know, like
Yeah.
just like how do I start a business? Like where do I start? You know, like
So
It should
let's
be taught in schools.
it should be, but schools are prepping kids to take tests, not to live life.
Mhm.
And
I,
so,
I
go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead, man.
And so, like what I'm saying is that there's a lot from a community perspective that we are ignorant on because we don't know. Like we have access to it right now, yeah, sure, but like, what if these things were being taught? Like what if this was things that we were learning in class in
Damn,
school?
baby.
So this is what I would say. This is
Don't
my
give me
thing about the.
reparations.
This is my thing. Yeah. So this is my thing about the reparation, right? The best thing that reparation can do for us is not give us money, but give us the access to the same level of education
Right.
that our white constituents have, right?
And that's it.
Because I promise you, if here's your system, because Ricky always talk about this system that I feel like is invisible, man. But this system that if we had a system that would educate us to a higher level, give us the same access to high-paying jobs, then we wouldn't sit here and talk about abortions. We wouldn't sit here and talk
Mhm.
about black crimes, all of that, right? But them giving us money, welfare is not helping, right? That's
Because we
a
don't know how to
broken
spend it.
system.
We don't know how to budget it.
Right. Well, because the thing is, if I, and again, I'm only giving a metaphor. I'm not talking about nobody. But if I give a dummy $1, that dummy not gonna know how to spend $1, right? So what good is a dummy having $1 if they too dumb to know how to spend $1, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's not about them giving us more of their tax money. It's not about giving us more. If you, like I said, if you get a house and you still got trash at here, you gonna trash the house. So I want to enrich us with knowledge that gives us the ability to do better, right? Because at that point, that brings us to the same playing level where then we won't even have a problem with the system. Why? Because we'll have more black billionaires and we'll say, you ain't getting my money either because you ain't getting his. So that's what I see reparation would help us. And that's what I'm pushing for. Enough of the dumb stuff. Educate us and give us the reason. Listen, the moment I came into clarity about investments, the moment I came into clarity about stock market, I have had no issue about finding my way and navigating through successful situations.
I want to answer
Period.
Candace's question too. I don't know if she was addressing or talking about me. She says, "Are you assuming a large portion of black people don't know how to budget?" That's not what I'm
Yes,
saying. What
I
what what,
am.
what I'm saying is that
She's talking to them all.
what I'm saying is that if you were to ask a 15-year-old kid right now how to budget, if I gave you $2 million right now, I'd be willing to bet they wouldn't be able to tell me what to do with it, where to put it, how to invest it, what is it like,
Most people
how do I
don't
make
know
this
how
money
they don't
work
know
for me?
anything about. Oh,
Because
sorry,
I know
Candy.
I probably wouldn't know what to do with $2
I
billion.
know adults. I was
She was
just gonna
talking
say
to
I know
Brenton. Well,
adults
what's the
that don't
question?
know. Oh no, it says so. You're assuming that a large portion of black people don't know how to. That's not my assumption. What
No,
I'm saying is this. I'm saying that we need more education on financial management. I didn't really get a thorough understanding of money until I took Financial Peace University. And even then, like I was still kind of lost. Like I said, like I saw my grandfather who was a businessman, my dad who works for the Internal Revenue Service. Like I just knew you saved and you invested a little bit and you put some back for a
The
rainy day.
mattress.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just it. But at the same time, it's like, what about like stocks and IRAs and like all this? Like, how does that work? They don't teach
Solid.
you that in
Real
school.
estate.
So the only thing that I'm saying, especially because I went to both a black school and graduated from a white one, and we missed that part. Like I missed that. I missed that. Like that they didn't teach us that.
Well, I would
Will,
go ahead.
no, Will just gave about 45 minutes of good information, but she wasn't talking to you. She's talking to me. So I'm gonna tell you like this, Candace. I'm gonna tell you like this. My experience, I had an accident back in 2000. I received over $30,000, and I was 19.
Hey,
And I went around people and I said, "Hey, man, I got this money. I want to know what to do with it." I had one person tell me, it was a pastor. He told me to put $1,000 in something, and that thing sat there for 8 years, and I think I got 1,115 dollars back off 7 years.
that's terrible, bro. Bro, I could have gave you
Nobody
more
else,
interest than that, bro.
nobody else, and I promise you, I sought after people. Nobody else told me how to put that $30,000 up, right? I ran through that thing. You hear me? And I tried, bro. I tried.
Oh,
So
man.
to answer your question, in my experience, no,
Right, tell
they
you
don't.
tell me.
Yeah,
You said
man,
what?
it was jacked up, right? And if I could go, I'm telling you, if I saw Bill and Ted right now, I'd tell them run me back to 2000 so I can tell my bloodline, right? I'm telling you, I
Yeah.
promise y'all, I'll be telling y'all I'm up there with them big time hedge fund investors, because I would have been $30,000 in the game. And so at the end
And
of the
that's
day,
huge.
man, yes,
Like
right? But
$30,000 to invest, bro. Like this,
man, dude, I'm telling you,
that's
right?
huge.
Only thing I had to show for it was
10,000.
a 32-inch JVC television.
Dang, bro. And
That's it.
it wasn't even a flat screen, I bet.
That's it.
I
No, it
think
wasn't a flat screen.
I think we get off the main issue, which is that there is a real, you know, gap, economy gap in this country with middle class is really suffering, right? And then you have these just 1% that not only is the middle class suffering, you have people that's in real poverty that really need help.
Are you suffering? Are you suffering?
Me? Am I suffering?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I have the knowledge of like y'all was saying
He's
of
throwing that
trying.
shade.
No.
Brendan, are you suffering?
No, hold on.
No.
We're not suffering because I believe
Honestly,
that we've educated ourselves, right? But if
Wow. Don't say that, because that means other people catch on.
okay, so when you have situations of poverty, is lack of education is the main thing, right? That's one of the main issues of why people's in poverty, right? Because they don't have the necessary assets, i.e., a degree to get the job that they can get. And some people, let's just be honest, everybody ain't got the same IQ, right? So you're going to have people working in certain jobs because the IQ is not there.
but
You
the
know,
Bible says the poor will be with you. So somebody's supposed to be poor.
Somebody got to
Maybe
be
it's the low
poor.
IQ people.
Lamar, be careful with that one, because that's not what he meant. So even to make that statement, the reason why he says that, yeah, no, because I listen. He said it. I'm gonna say that. Give me an opportunity. The reason he made that statement was because of people, right? The system that Ricky talks about. That's
but
the reason why the poor will be with you
the
always.
system that you just kind of agreed to when you said that we need better education, which is a part of systemic racism, right?
Well, well, listen. If we educate ourselves, then you're not. There's no systemic racism in that, right? So, Shante, to answer your
But we
question,
also benefit. I benefit from coming from a family that is educated, come from a family that has done okay. And so I think there are some of us who hasn't, and there's some of us who, but it's all about what we have intelligently, right? You
not
can get
necessarily.
most of the case. That's how it is, though. Most of the
Listen,
case,
you got. Listen, I've seen people that inherited a lot of money and they're still stupid,
that's right. But they
right?
got money, so they're not in the
But I'm just
bracket that
saying.
we're talking
Money don't
about.
So,
make children.
Shante, what I'm saying is, if it wasn't a problem, like if everybody thought like my 19-year-old self, if they didn't, then we wouldn't. So this is what I'm saying. We gotta start bridging that gap between perception and reality. The perception that you're saying, that I think that everybody thought like me at 19, Well, what's the reality? The reality is that people, there are two, now, I'm gonna start making this point now. There are two people that don't pay taxes: billionaires and those that are that are not working, right? That's receiving welfare
Listen,
as their form of
people who are
income.
receiving
So
welfare, if they start, most people on welfare are working jobs. Majority of them. When I say the majority of them, they high majority of them. They do pay taxes. It ain't happening, bruh. I'm letting you know right now.
what ain't happening?
It ain't
Listen,
helping.
you know,
It's
you
not
know.
helping.
Okay,
It's not
you
helping.
now you know
But
there are people that pay
they're also
that.
getting $8,000 to $10,000 back on their income tax for claiming other
Right.
people's
You
kids.
telling me that Jeff Bezos can't afford to pay higher
The
taxes?
opposite.
They all
Jeff
can't afford
Bezos,
that.
Jeff Bezos don't work. So
Jeff
of
Bezos
course,
do work. That's not true. What are you talking about?
so a
You know, because you
19-year-old
don't get
white
a.
teen would know
For
what to do.
payroll.
I can
No,
speak
but
to
a
that.
19-year-old no,
I can speak to that.
but
So
a 19-year-old white teen with 9, 10, not I don't even know what I'm telling you. A difference between a 19-year-old white teen, since you said it, they can have parents that had parents that had parents that'll say, hey, you
Bro,
put that money in that investment and then you let it sit. So it's a difference, right? Again, we're talking about educating ourselves. That system that Ricky talks about did a horrible job because they gave us third generation books. They gave us schools that they didn't want no more, right? So of course we're not. I'm not. So what you're saying to your specific thought, it ain't about white and black. I'm just saying again, what our perception and reality, we have to look at it for what it is.
and,
We
and
got a problem.
and if you look at it, white people and black people and Hispanic people, everybody are suffering from poverty in this country. And all I'm saying is there is a way that billionaires can do more than what they're doing.
Oh yes, but they can't
You
fix
know,
the problem.
I'm inclined to say the opposite. The fact
No,
that the fact that the fact that we don't have health care in this country, free health care is an issue. It's an
and
issue.
you think that would solve our economic problems?
Yeah, I feel like the billionaires put more in. That's
Well,
more money
okay.
that can be
My thing is, Ricky,
put towards
again,
that.
if you got people that work very hard, like you say, and will still not pay their rent because they want to go have fun, that a billionaire sending money ain't gonna fix that problem.
Listen, what are you talking about? That has nothing to do with
It
poverty
does.
line.
You said
Hey,
give
it
the
was
money.
poverty line. I said systematic. There's systems that can be fixed. Hunger is just not somebody that affects somebody because they decided to go to the club and not feed their kids that night. Hunger is a real
Okay,
issue in this country. And
5
so
more minutes.
you have people who are kids that really, if they don't go to school, that's the only time they eat.
Tell CC's and go to Corral to stop throwing their food away when the buffet is over.
I agree.
That can solve the
That's
problem.
another issue. But then
Okay.
you get into health and issues and stuff with that as well. So
I promise you, if I knew that
people don't want to be
pizza just
sued.
got put up there 5 minutes ago, and you finna go out the back and get, I want that. I want that pepperoni that just came out of there.
Lauren, what are you gonna say towards the Bezos and the check stuff?
Oh no, you were just talking about. I can speak to like the 19-year-old white teen. Like I said, I went to
Go
a
ahead.
black school and a white school, and there were white kids who were working for their parents. Like their parents had businesses, and so their parents were showing them, like they. And I knew this because it's like they come to school driving Salines and Corvettes and
Mm-hmm.
Mustangs, and you only 17. Like like, and I gotta catch the bus. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, I'm working for my parents, and like their parents are showing them the business of like how it works, and so like that wasn't really like my privilege. My my daddy worked for the IRS, and he
Right,
worked real hard. So
right, right. Lawrence, and you can probably attest to this. Michelle Obama said when she got to Harvard, she realized that a lot of kids they wasn't really that smart. They
they're
got
not
in through through
because their parents are wealthy,
their parents are wealthy. Or their parents went to the school and put a lot of money in.
right?
It's
1 minute.
that's all that system. All it's it's the whole thing.
All right, everybody want to get a final thoughts? Bring you on the start.
Sure, I'll start. Let me tell you, world
Well,
peace.
yeah.
World peace starts with hunger and ends with economy. That's world peace. No, I'm just teasing.
Brent for
I
president.
right. I want to say this to everybody. Everybody has their own path to make. Everybody has their own decision to make. You do have the right to choose. You have the right to choose how you spend your money, and you have the right to choose whether or not you want your child. All I'm saying is, make take the options if they are available to you. That's it.
Mm. Lawrence.
My final thought is 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. Tune in to Be the People on TFG Network. And that's all I have to say. That
Yeah.
TFG
TFG TV,
TV. I know.
Black on black crime is a myth. It's just crime. Crime is crime. Let's fix the crime issue that's going on in Chicago and everywhere else. Let's fix that crime issue. It is an issue. Women have the right. I believe women should have the right to do whatever they want to do medically with their bodies. And if people who have an issue with that, try to get it overturned in the Supreme Court. And my last thought is that I feel like billionaires should be doing more. They have the money to do that. A lot of billionaires are worth more than what is public knowledge because they got money everywhere. One billionaire said that it's impossible to know how much his net worth is because of how much money he has. They would never spend this money in a lifetime. It would take them lifetimes upon lifetimes to spend that money.
Generational wealth.
Yeah, and so they should be able to. There is issues that's plaguing America in the world that these people can fix. If I was a billionaire, I would try my best to do what I can.
All right, let me see. Let me change my thing. All right, here we go. So my final thought, as we play the soft music, I think there is black on black crime. I think we definitely need to clean our front step before we really start tackling everything. Because I think we need to do all of it, but I think we definitely should be caring about our own front step as black people. We are an endangered species. We are under attack, in my opinion, but it's also from the inside and from the outside, and we have to do our part, in my opinion, to stop the bleeding. I think billionaires, if I became a billionaire, I wouldn't want nobody to tell me what I can do with my money. However, I do see the other point of view of, wow, are they ever going to spend all this money? But then I also see the point of view of, this is generational wealth for my kids and my grandkids and my greats and my greats and greats and greats and greats and greats. And what kind of country are we if you get to determine what I do with my money? Is that a socialist country? We need to talk about that next time. Are socialist countries productive? Is that a good thing? We'll talk about that. Maybe Be the People can give me some insight on that at some point. I believe it. I wouldn't want my kid aborted, but I don't feel like it's my decision to make for other people, whether it be men or women or families. But I wouldn't personally do it. But I don't think it's. I think it definitely contributes to the endangerment of the black species, just like police brutality, just like Pee-wee terrorizing the neighborhood as well. You know what? This has been TFG Tonight. I thank you guys for tuning in to the show. This has been awesome. I can't wait to do this again. And we out this piece, guys. We are out. Where's my outro? Do I got an outro? All right, here we go.